Do you know anybody who's amazing at giving nicknames? My father-in-law's that way. And every grandchild especially has multiple nicknames. All the kids have multiple nicknames, and they're hilarious. And that's just one of Grandpa's great gifts. Well, Jesus had the same gift and gave some marvelous nicknames. What did he call Simon? He called him Peter, the Rock. What did he call James and John? Boanerges, sons of thunder. His nicknames typically built people up, which makes me feel a little sad that we usually do the opposite with our nicknames, especially a nickname we gave to one of Jesus's apostles, namely Doubting Thomas. There's actually a story a little earlier in John. The story of Doubting Thomas only appears in John, but a little earlier in John, you see not Doubting Thomas, but Daring Thomas. As Jesus says, we got to go to Jerusalem, and you know what that means. I'm going to be crucified. And Daring Thomas says, well, if you go, we're going with you. If you die, we'll die right alongside you. This guy's amazing. Talk about courage. Well, we're actually here to talk about faith. Okay, so we're not going to talk about Daring Thomas. No, we're going to talk about Doubting Thomas. There's a resurrection account. There's an Easter story worth wrestling with. Now, the story of Doubting Thomas is so well known, but what's less known, sadly, is that he wasn't the only doubter. If you want to talk about Doubting Thomas, fine, but to be fair, you better also refer to Doubting Peter and Doubting James and Doubting John and doubting everyone, because they all doubted, at least until they'd known for themselves. And isn't that what Doubting Thomas is chided for? Why didn't you take everybody's word for it? What you had to see with your eyes and touch with your fingers, you had to know for yourself? Come on, Thomas. Where's your trust in others and their testimony? But I'll bet everybody flinched a little bit when Jesus said something like that to Thomas, because they'd all had similar struggles themselves. Let me give you a handful of verses to show you this. This is Mark chapter 16, verse 11. When Mary Magdalene, having seen the Lord, rushes to the disciples to give them the good news, and they, when they had heard that he was alive and had been seen of her, believed not. Like, seriously? This is Mary Magdalene. She's incredible. And you don't trust her? Or she's making it up? Or how about this one from Luke 24? And their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not. There it is again. They believed not. Do you just not trust these sister saints? Come on now. Later in Luke 24, this is now the two disciples on the road to Emmaus. They've rushed back to Jerusalem, given the other apostles the good news. They confirm what they've heard from the women, and yet nobody believes. Look at this, for example, in Mark 16, verse 13. From these, the two disciples run back and tell them, and they went and told it unto the residue, neither believed they them. Man, does nobody believe? Makes more sense now that Jesus would say to the disciples on the road to Emmaus, O fools and slow of heart to believe. That seems to describe everybody. A bit foolish in their lack of faith. But can you blame them? Slow of heart to believe? Yeah, because it's a bit hard to believe. Back from the dead? That's impossible. Well, what about Lazarus? Well, yeah, Jesus was the one who raised him. Who's going to raise Jesus? Jesus is. Lord of life. I am the resurrection and the life, he said about Lazarus. He can do it for himself. He has that power. But let me give you one last sad news. Again from Mark chapter 16, verse 14. Afterward, he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat and upbraided them with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen. Did you catch it? Why did he chide them, chasten them? Because they didn't believe each other. They didn't believe those that had had an experience and were sharing that experience, that witness with them. It's too horizontal. I want a vertical one. Horizontal means I have to trust other people. Oh, in our skeptical, cynical age, nobody wants to do that. We have lost faith in one another. And in the process, we've lost faith in God. I'm not sure which is chicken and egg on that one. But when we demand, I'll only believe with a personal vertical testimony, don't make me trust somebody's horizontal testimony along the way. That's a problem, and Jesus chastens them for it. I think the only kind of doubt that deserves no chastening, you'll see in Luke chapter 24, verse 41, when Jesus is right there with them and, quote, they yet believed not for joy, close quote. That's a great one too. Why don't you believe? I'm right here. Well, yeah, we believe, but we can't believe it. It's too good to be true. I'm so stoked about this, so joyful. How's this even possible? Well, handle me and see, right? Here's the thing, though. There is one glorious exception to this sad rule. The sad rule is people don't trust each other. And like Thomas, they have to know for themselves. Why do you think Peter and John went running to the tomb to see if the tale from the women really was true? Why do you think these apostles are gathering, wondering, questioning each other? Is this even possible? The one exception, the glorious one, are the women themselves. Notice this in the Matthew account. They've seen the angels. They've come to the empty tomb. They haven't seen Jesus, but there are angels. Now, I'll admit that's a pretty impressive witness, but it's still not Jesus himself, so I'm still going to call this horizontal. And so what ends up happening, the angels say, go and bring word to his disciples. Now, they don't know for sure yet. It's a still second-hand testimony, angelic or not. But in Matthew 28, verse 9, as they went to tell his disciples, so they're doing it. I haven't seen for myself. I haven't touched with my hand. I haven't thrust my finger in his hands or his side. But I believe in what I've been told by someone else, and I go running. Notice, as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them. He cuts them off at the pass. He gives them a vertical testimony of their own because they accepted the horizontal testimony and were en route to give a horizontal testimony of their own. That is beautiful. Too often, I think, we are waiting on the vertical to even begin our horizontal. But to accept a horizontal and be ready to extend that horizontal, faith in others and hope that others would have faith in you. Becoming one in that way is what allows God to become one with us. Thank you for exercising faith in faith. Thank you for trusting each other and trusting the process. Now I can come to you and confirm what you already believed in. You received no witness until after the trial of your faith. Thank you for passing the trial. Faith precedes the miracle. Thank you for exercising the faith. Now here comes the miracle. Well, by the time he comes and appears to the others, Jesus has been with them. This is in the John account now. Thomas wasn't there the first time that they're there to see Jesus for themselves. Remember, they doubted the story of the women. Idle tales, can't be crazy, can't be true. He comes, chides them for not believing. Now I believe. They tell Thomas he was gone that day. Good lesson on not missing meetings, I suppose. But now he's back with the other apostles, and Jesus appears and singles out Thomas to come. Because he'd said, until I see with my eyes and touch with my hands, I need an independent witness. I need it proven to me through two different senses. This is going to be some redundancy just in case. I love how Thomas is portrayed in The Chosen, by the way. He's skeptical, it might be too strong, but he's a rationalist. I need proof. And that seems to be the case in this story. But what does Jesus say? John chapter 20, verse 29, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. And that's good, he's hinting. But he goes on, blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. You see, that's even better. It's good to accept the obvious. Well done. it's better to exercise faith. It's better to trust each other. Even fallible human beings all around you. Don't live life as a cynic. It's depressing for you and for everyone else around you. Will you ever get burned by people that abuse that trust? Yes. But I'd rather be an optimist that's occasionally burned than a lifelong cynic that's occasionally proven true. Yeah, you with me on this? Jesus actually says one other thing to Thomas that is the phrase for the day for me. In John 20, verse 27, he says to him, "Be not faithless, but believing." He doesn't just say, exercise faith. He says, be. It's not just do, it's not just have, it's be. Let this become your whole manner of being. Don't be faithless, be believing. It becomes your epistemological default. It becomes your approach to life. It becomes your way of being. I trust people. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll trust God and believe in Him and pray that He'll help my unbelief when the first belief is difficult. You understand? I'll be optimistic. I will try. I will try to pass the test of faith so that the miracle can then come and confirm it. That's all that Jesus is asking. We live in a largely faithless age because we've lost faith in faith, and lost faith in each other, and lost faith in God, and lost a lot of faith in ourselves. That's a tough way to be. So be not faithless. All of us. Doubting Jared, doubting Thomas, doubting Peter, doubting John. You wonderful women, thank you for being the opposite of all of this. Thank you for being believing. You've taught us important things. Now I guess it's up to me to see if I've learned the lesson. In fact, last thing I'll share this week. Mark pushes that exact question on all of us. Will you be believing? Or do you need your own proof? You going to join the doubters or move forward with faith? See, for this, you need to understand just something really brief about the end of Mark. Mark has a very odd ending that most scholars believe was not from Mark himself. The last 10 or 15 verses of Mark use words in Greek that were never used elsewhere. It's like coming out of left field. And it's like, who is this guy? It doesn't sound like everything I've learned from Mark the last 16 chapters. And the last verse that people suggest is probably truly Mark is such a cliffhanger that no wonder some later scribe or maybe other disciple felt so moved, like, I have to finish this. You can't stop there. It's like saying, nah, 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 nah. And then you just wait in the silence and somebody has to come in. Nah, you got to finish that. Because notice how Mark's ending ends so abruptly. Chapter 16, verse 8. The women have run. They've seen the angels. The angels have told them he's not here. He's risen. Go tell everybody else. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. Period. End of gospel. Huh? You can't end there. In that abrupt version, the women don't even have a good ending. Nobody does. But in some ways, that's what I love about it, because it's left for us to finish the book of Mark. I mean, somebody did. And they seem to have cobbled together the accounts from Matthew and Luke. There's so much of Matthew and Luke in the end of Mark. It's wild. It's like, you can't stop there. No, there were disciples on the road to Emmaus. Yeah, there were people, and the disciples and the apostles and everybody, they knew about Jesus. He was risen. And so it's like, oh, okay. Whew. Okay, that's a better way to end the book of Mark. He had me so nervous. I was afraid as they were. And Mark's like, that was the point. What will you do? Will you be faithless, or will you be believing? Will you trust what the angels have said? You are now those women rushing away. What are you going to do? I love the abrupt ending of the book of Mark because it leaves us to finish it. And that's a story that will never be finished completely. If we'll embrace our Easter, seek for Jesus in living places, find him, and find our faith so well founded, and then tell the world. That's Easter. That's its message. That's its mission. And I hope it's one that we'll accept. I am so grateful for the reality that Easter is worth celebrating. He is risen. So go tell the world.